Hey, welcome back. Today we've got a neighbor of mine, literally, Stacey Vair, who is a real estate entrepreneur, and she is a financial advisor, and she's based in beautiful Kamloops, British Columbia. And I've known Stacey for a number of years, and we've worked together. And Stacey, it's a pleasure to have you on the show. I think this is your very first podcast interview, so
It is.
welcome.
Yeah, it is. And thank you for having me on the show, Dave. It's an honor.
My pleasure. My pleasure. All right, Stacey. So tell us a little bit about yourself and your background, because first of all, it's interesting. Number two, it's double interesting because most financial planners that I know aren't real estate investors. And most financial planners I'm aware of try to kind of turn their customers definitely away from real estate investing. You don't do that. You are a financial planner and a real estate investor. So tell us a little bit about that story. How did that all happen?
Well, I've been in the financial industry since 2003. So my whole entire career.
A while now.
Yeah, a little while. And, I got into it because I could see people working so hard for money, but they didn't know what to do with the money when they had it or how to manage it. And I just wanted to learn that for myself. So really, it's out of a bit of a selfishness of how I fell into what I do, because I just wanted to learn more. And now I want to share what I've learned with everybody. And, as the years progressed, I could see, I worked at a bank, and I could see that there was better opportunities outside of those walls for my clients, which I couldn't offer to them because I was, sitting behind whatever color desk.
And in that position, just so I understand, like, you're very limited to what kind of products and services you can offer your clients, because basically, if they aren't the bank's products or services, whether they're good or not, you're not allowed to provide them, right?
That's exactly right. And I was getting into trouble because I'm like, there's a better deal down the street. So I wasn't.
I can see the bank not being too thrilled with you for doing that.
Too thrilled with that, yeah. So I went independent over a decade ago, and just kept on learning as much as I possibly can. So I've got, insurance licenses and mortgage broker license, as well as, taking training for the Smith maneuver, et cetera, et cetera.
Holy smokes. So you're a financial planner.
Correct.
You're a mortgage broker.
Correct.
You're an insurance agent.
Yeah.
And you've also gotten all trained up on the Smith maneuver, which I'll ask you about in a couple of minutes, because a lot of people have heard of it, but if they're like me, they might have learned it a few years ago and promptly forgot it and might not remember it and all that kind of good stuff. But that's okay. So you all sorts of different things. So I understand the financial planning. Insurance ties in with that. So that's kind of hand in hand.
Yeah.
Why and when becoming a mortgage broker?
Again, the same thing is, it's all selfishness where I want to learn more and then share what I've learned with all of my clients. And so I started, seeing that my more affluent clients obviously had real estate within a portfolio of some form. And I wanted to be a part of that as well. So I started learning as much as I possibly can. And I bought my first rental property, and I'm like, wait a minute, why would I be not doing this for myself? I understand how it works. So why wouldn't I just go get a license and do it for my friends and family?
Well, hey, you know what? And that's like, from a business point of view, that makes a lot of sense too, because now, as a financial planner, as a financial advisor, there is a way for you to provide real estate services for your clients that benefit them and that you get paid for, because that's a big, I think, and I could be wrong, most financial advisors, one of the reasons they don't promote real estate is they haven't figured out how to make any money at it.
That's right.
For the business.
They don't want you to spend your down payment on a down payment. They want you to invest that into whatever
mutual funds, exactly.
Whatever mutual fund or a GIC, whatever the right product is for you. Right. Whereas, I have a different take on that, where I see the potential of what real estate can do, a part of a good diversified portfolio. And as long as it fits that, that person's personality, risk tolerance, all of those extra other factors that I take into consideration, I'm all for it. I'm like, you should do that, because a mortgage is a financial tool that a lot of people, they think a mortgage is like death grip, right? That's the actual, in French, the term death grip, right? Yeah. But if it's used correctly, it actually can be a vehicle for more wealth, right?
So are you kind of hinting towards the Smith maneuver there? Is that?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Am I picking up what you're laying down there, Stacey?
That's right.
Awesome.
That's right.
All right. Hey, well, okay. So big picture, why don't you walk us through? Well, hey, no, let's do this. First things first. Tell me first about your entrance into real estate as a real estate investor. So how long ago was that? What kind of a property was that? And what kind of lit the light bulb in your head that, hey, there's more to life and investing than just the stock market and GICs?
Yeah, for sure. Thank you. So, we bought our first house, and I just started paying down the mortgage super fast. So I started gaining equity very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And me being a financial planner, I'm like, how can I make this money work for me?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, it's just sitting there doing nothing, and I want that money working. So I looked into buying a rental property. So my first rental property was a condo, a 2-bedroom, 2-bath condo, that we did the BRRRR method on, which is, buy, renovate, rent, refinance, repeat, right?
Yeah.
And so we did that method there, and it was very successful. We were able to pull equity out of that property to subsequently purchase the next property, which we got for a really good deal. We completely gutted it, and then made it into a duplex, and like 2 self-sufficient duplexes. Same thing. Did that again. Then we bought a full duplex this time, and renovate, repeat. And I just closed on my 6th deal now. So
congratulations. That is wonderful.
Yeah,
so
we bought 6
basically,
houses in 6 years.
How many?
6.
Six rental units or 6 properties in 6 years?
6 properties in 6 years.
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
Okay, Stacey. So what you did at the beginning was you took home equity. Did you get a home equity line of credit, or are we going to get into the Smith maneuver here in a second?
Yeah, that's kind of what it is, right? You get a home equity line of credit, and use that money as your own sources. So you can use that as a down payment.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how we kind of springboard into the first one, right?
Then you did a perfect BRRRR. You got all your money back out.
Yeah.
Instead of putting it back onto your HELOC, you took it and you reinvested it in the second property, did the whole thing, another perfect BRRRR. And then, so you kind of leapfrogged along that, doing that.
And actually we did so well on the first 3 BRRRRs that we were able to actually pay back the line of credit and still have money for the next down payment. So we weren't carrying that debt during that time either. We just carried the debt during the whole renovation period. Mm-hmm. And then afterwards we were able to pay it back. Yeah. Yeah. But
okay. So maybe walk us through big picture. What does the Smith maneuver look like, and what does it allow us to do?
Yeah. So the Smith maneuver is a financial concept, just like high level, information about all of it. It's a financial concept where you can turn your mortgage into a tax deductible expense. There's a loophole in the CRA tax law that if you borrow money, either off of your mortgage or even just, an unsecured line of credit, if you borrow money in order to make money, right? So it doesn't necessarily have to be real estate. It could be a hot dog stand. It could be.
Let's keep it focused on real estate, because this is the Property Profits Real Estate Podcast.
That's true. Yeah. So to buy yourself a rental property. So as long as you're spending that money on the purpose of, buying rental property, making money, then the interest that you pay is a tax deductible expense. Mm-hmm. And as you may know, it's not so much how much money you make, it's how much money you keep. Mm-hmm. Right. And so after a while, what happens is that snowballs. You are paying that interest continually, but you've already planned to pay that money on a mortgage. So basically you try to pay down your mortgage faster. You want to get a readvanceable mortgage. So you put lump sums on your mortgage. That's going to show up as available credit on your line of credit. And then you use that for the purpose of purchasing rental property in this case.
In this scenario.
Yeah. That's right, in this scenario. So that way, your personal home, you're not going to really owe a mortgage on it. You're just going to have a big old line of credit on it. But that line of credit is actually for the rental property, which you're making money, but the money you're making is offsetting because of the interest that you're paying.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
And for our American listeners, they're going, well, yeah, this is normal. Well, it's not normal in Canada. In the US, they got 1031 exchanges and all this kind of stuff that government makes it a lot easier for Americans to reinvest their real estate profits than the Canadian institution and all this wisdom. Right. So, so this is a loophole, a way for us to do it. It's a little bit more convoluted, but it kind of basically gets you the same end result.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay. So you've done very, very well with 6 properties in 6 years. I'm assuming you're a long-term buy and hold kind of investor. Would that be correct, Stacy?
That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So what have been some of your biggest lessons over the last 6 properties in 6 years?
That's a fascinating idea. Hold that thought for a second. Hi there, this is Dave Dubeau, and real estate investors hire me to raise capital the right way. Why? Because most of them are stuck with too small of a portfolio, and they don't know how to attract investors and raise money for their deals. So I help them to connect, capture, and close their ideal money partners. Bottom line, when you've got a deal, you're going to have the capital to do it. So go ahead and book a no-cost capital clarity session with me at bookachatwithdave.com. Again, that's bookachatwithdave.com.
So many great lessons on it all. Just definitely always knowing your numbers, which of course that's something that, I've got dialed in, but a lot of people tend to kind of forget about all the closing costs and expenses that come up. And always, expect that it's going to be 10% more or 20% more than what you originally thought it was going to be.
And maybe be 10 or 20% less profitable than you originally thought it might be.
Yeah.
50% longer than you thought it might take. And a few ideas like that.
Exactly. And I mean, in the last few years too, we've done all this through COVID and through the market crash and through the supply chain issues and everything. So there's, a whole bunch of stuff that's come up in these last 3 years that maybe other investors, like you wouldn't have ever expected, or, we may never expect again, but definitely good lessons there. And it's just super important to make sure that you're tight with your crew and that you got the right professionals behind you and beside you, and that there's excellent communication between everybody, and just to keep the projects moving along smoothly.
Yeah, most definitely. So I know in our local area, it's been very, very difficult for a long time to find good labor, good contractors.
Yeah.
You've done 6 deals in 6 years, and that's great. However, it's not the kind of volume that you're able to have your own teams doing this kind of stuff. So you have to definitely outsource all of this. What have you found has worked best for you for finding really good contractors?
You know what? You pay the money. You pay top dollar, and you just stick in, and it's worth it though. Like because we have kind of a niche in what we do. We're offering high quality properties to high quality tenants. Right.
So you're taking properties and bringing them up to not just average rental standards, but top notch standards.
Top notch. Like, we go all out, like brand new stainless steel, everything, quartz countertops, new plumbing, new electricity. Like basically the whole house has been redone to 2023 standards kind of thing.
Nice.
So then, it's worth paying a contractor that's in business and has been in business for a long time. And they cost more, but it's totally worth it because that job gets done, and it gets done right, and it gets done quickly because they're busy too. They need to move on to the next project, right? Rather than a Mickey Mouse guy that, he's going to show up maybe on Wednesday.
That's really good advice, Stacy, because so many people, myself included in the past, have gone cheap on things, and it ends up biting you in the butt.
It does.
Sure.
And time is money, right?
Yeah.
So the longer that property is sitting there gaining interest on that, on that loan that you've got, it's not rented, materials are getting,
or you get it done and then it's attracting crappy renters and not that great a rent, and you got more turnover and all that kind of stuff.
Totally.
What's your best guess? Because you know the market pretty well here locally. What's your best guess as the differential between what you're able to charge for one of your units versus a kind of a plain Jane competitor of a similar size?
Yeah, that's a great question, Dave. I do a lot of market research on that, especially since I've, got a unit right now that I'm looking to rent. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of an unfortunate situation where there's a lot of landlords out there that are charging, more than they really should be for the quality, the lack of quality in there.
There's just such low vacancies, right? They can get
That's
away
just
with it.
That's just it. And they just kind of get away with it. What I'm, I don't know if I can quantify in a percentage, but I would like in dollars, I'm probably getting about $400, $500 more
Per
than
month.
what another person is. But again, we high quality, and we also offer, I have all of my units landscape. Like I have a landscaper that comes every 2 weeks to do the lawn and everything,
Very
because
nice.
I want to ensure that my investment looks top notch. And if I needed to get out tomorrow, it's not going to be a big thing to fix it up and get it going again. It's already well cared for. So,
well, and that just even is another big benefit for your tenants, because they don't have to worry about landscaping. And
that's just it. We want to provide value, right? We want to provide value for the dollars. They're living in, clean, safe, healthy spaces where, it's easy to be and easy to live.
Yeah. All right. Well, that makes a lot of sense, Stacy. So what are your goals and plans moving ahead? When it comes to real estate? Well, I mean, you're doing a whole bunch of different things, but when it comes to real estate investing, what do you want to be doing?
I'm really interested in multifamily. Now that I've bought that duplex, and, the eventual plan is fourplex. And, so I'm really interested in purchasing multifamily and
Very
moving
good.
in that direction, whether we're going to buy land and do purpose build, or, just buy something that's already there. That's to be said. The market right now, most small apartment owners they think their apartment's worth way more than what the income is coming in. So finding those deals are, top of mind and a little bit tougher. I think that a lot of sellers need to recognize that we're no longer in 2021, and those prices, the value of their home has gone down, right? Yeah,
their property has gone down. Yeah, but you probably would be well served, Stacy, because you're a very studious kind of person. When you get interested in something, you really study it hard and you take a deep dive. In your position, I would really take a look at development and building purpose-built properties, build to rent. I've interviewed a ton of people recently that are, because of all the same circumstances you've just mentioned, are getting into that. Plus, there's a lot of incentives from the government to create more housing versus just shuffling the current housing stock we have around. So
correct. Like the MLI Select program through CMHC.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So my gut says that's probably the best route to go. And at the end of the day, you've got a beautiful brand new property that's going to be super, you can make it super efficient. You can have it dialed into the exact standards that you want. You can have it landscaped the way you want. You can have all the fixtures, and you can be attracting those same kind of tenants. But now, instead of onesie twosies, now 6Cs, 8Cs, 10Cs, whatever you decide to build. Yeah. So that is great. Well, Stacy, the time flies when we're having fun. I'm sure there are a lot of folks out there that they're going, "Oh, this lady knows some stuff. She's pretty interesting." If people would like to connect with you, what should they do? What's the best way to reach out for you?
If you just want to check out my website at goddynfinancial.com. That's GODDYN financial.com. You've got all of my contact details and what I do, and just, hit me up, give me an email or a phone call, and we can take it from there.
That sounds great. Well, Stacy, thanks for being on the show, and it's an honor having you on my show as your first podcast interview. How did it feel?
Really great. Thank you, Dave. I really appreciate being here.
And I look forward to seeing you at one of our upcoming Brents meetings, hopefully.
Yes, me too.
All right. Very good. Thanks, Stacy, and everybody. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Bye, everybody.
Well, hey there. Thanks for tuning into the Property Profits podcast. If you like this episode, that's great. Please go ahead and subscribe on iTunes. Give us a good review. That'd be awesome. I appreciate that. And if you're looking to attract investors and raise capital for your deals, then I'm going to invite you to get a complimentary copy of my newest book, right back there. There it is. The Money Partner Formula. You can get a PDF version at investorattractionbook.com. Again, investor attractionbook.com. Take care.